Hi guys, welcome back to the Non-Immigrant student podcast. It's the heavy sigh for me. Anyway, we need to find a new welcome message. I'm beginning to roll my eyes these days at YouTubers and everyone when they say hi guys, but I know I'm now becoming one of them. Anyway, welcome back to episode 2. I think it's been 3 weeks now, 2 weeks since I released episode 1 of season 3. Welcome back. If you listen to the first episode, it was an episode of mixed feelings, I would say. I did share my sad stories of trying to find a roommate, finding a house, moving to New York City. And I really thought this episode would be like such a happy one. Oh my God, she's back, my girl's back, I was so happy to record this particular one. Especially because the title was about, I was just waltzing through my work week and I was like, wait, I think I should talk about, all these things I think I love about working in tech and the things I don't like. But I had finished writing the script in air quotes for that podcast and I was like, okay, I want to talk about this. But then I couldn't still bring myself to record it. Also, one, because I was like, I'm not going to assume that everyone who listens, like my audience is predominantly Nigerian, so I was like, I don't want to say anything that's going to offend anybody, if I discuss certain stereotypes about working with Americans. So I was quite hesitant, but anyway, I'll still be recording the episode. There's no problem. There's no doubt about that. I got to just give me the wisdom on how to share what I want to talk about. But this particular episode, I'm recording it because I came here. I sat on my desk today to record this particular episode, what I love about working in tech and not. But I find myself wanting to talk about something else. So I'll just go in that direction. So sadly, we'll have to move that discussion to episode 3. And in this episode, I've decided, I think I will title it the Sitting in Your Feelings episode because that's what I've been doing lately. So today is February 28th. I believe, or 27th. It's either one of these days. You see, is that bad? Oh yeah, today is February 27th. And it's 2 days after the Nigerian elections. And like I said, I will not assume that my listeners are only Nigerians. So every 8 years, apparently we conduct elections. 4 to 8 years, I think. And this particular year's election, I would say, is very important for a lot of us because for a very long time, our country has I don't want to have to bore everyone with the bad news or the sad news. Like, it's just another third world country that could be doing better, but isn't. So, and a lot of us are angry with our president and the presidency and current government, and we all wish we all wish for a new government. In 2019, I voted at the last elections, but who I voted didn't win, so that's fine. But anyway, aside the elections too, also at work has really been kicking my ass in the butt. Like, I have really been feeling it, especially because I feel like I've not been as productive as I want to be. I'm not being as productive as I want to be. I feel like there's just so much to deliver on and I'm not meeting these targets. And I know, yes, they say talk to your manager, talk to this person, blah, blah. I do all of that, trust me. I even have a mentor at work who's Nigerian, who I love and I respect so much. And I will be going for his wedding next month, And I tried to talk to him about these things. I remember I had another friend too who's Nigerian. Shout out to all these people. I don't think that they listen to this podcast, but I remember like 2 weeks ago at work, someone annoyed me. If I was being my true Nigerian self, I would be like, one white woman annoyed me. But because I know better, I would say a colleague annoyed me. So, and I was like, I just put time on his calendar and I was like, I want to vent, please. And he went to Common University too. Sure, these two guys actually went to Common University, and that's mostly foundation for our friendship and our relationship. And I'm really happy to have them. Generally, I'm happy to have Nigerians at work because a lot of times I find that when you try to make friends, even with other people, sometimes it doesn't work out. And why? I feel like as much as we think we share so many things in common, maybe we don't. Or sometimes I just find myself sitting and just wondering, what is it about the American culture that no one has told me? Why why does it always feel so fake, so hard, so forced to relate with them? And I know it's quite unfair to say, because I actually have people I would consider good work friends, like people who when I go to work, I'm happy, I'm grateful to be working at Google because of them, but it still doesn't feel the same. And these are some of the things why I've been sitting in my feelings for the past 2 weeks, guys. And then to top it all off, I had COVID again for the 5th time. So I did have COVID twice in 2021, twice in 2022. This is my first time in 2023. So, I'm tired, basically. And I just came here to say it, that I am actually tired. So this is the tired episode. It's the venting episode, just in case a lot of you also have, weeks like that, days like that. Like 2 years ago, my biggest worry was trying to upload and finish my assignments, from some of my wicked professors. I'm like, and now, our issues just keep changing. You think that, when you get a job and you're able to make your own money, life will be all right. I mean, life is all right, to be honest. I'm grateful to God. I promise you. Like, sometimes I wake up to my view. I'm so grateful. I wake up thinking about how grateful I am for my family. Even sometimes just seeing a message from my mom and my dad, because my dad calls me Tools, and that used to be my nickname from secondary school. Sometimes when I just see him hail me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy. When my mom sends me a message, or when I talk to my sister. So I'm grateful. And like Shonda Rhimes would say, like, when, if it always looks like someone has it together, most times there's someone else that is suffering, And I don't want to, once again, use the hackneyed word mental health. My mental health is in shape, honestly. I'm just at the point where it's one of those days where I'm sitting in my feelings. And I think all of us have some of those days. So to start, I've kind of written a couple of things I want to talk about the weekend, even aside the elections. I had a great weekend, even with the COVID. So right after the public holiday we had in the US and I think Canada on February 20th, I woke up on Tuesday morning. I just started having this headache. Before you knew it, chest pain. I said, and I checked. I was like, okay, maybe I'm coming on my period. It didn't go by Wednesday. I was supposed to even go painting with some friends. And I was like, I'm not going to be the one that will cancel, because they already know me as that person that used to cancel when I don't want to do something. And I said, it's a lie. I will not cancel. I will not be the one to cancel this time. I don't know if you're that friend in your own group. So I went with my sickness. Even when I knew I was sick, I took an Uber and I went, because it wasn't far from my house. And I got there, I started painting. Hey, my chest started paining me again. It was like film. And I was like, please, I can't. I need to go. And I did that intentionally, because if I canceled, even if I said I was sick, I don't think they would have believed me. So I like to play my cards wisely. So I was like, I'm just going to go. And then when they really see that I can't do it, I will go home. And thank God the painting guys eventually gave me a painting credit. And then before you know it, Wednesday, I was experiencing highs and lows, because I don't really want to take time off. The year is still early. I have holidays in front. So I was like, okay, I'll keep working. And then I wasn't finishing the work I needed to do. Even my manager's manager asked me to do something. It was even God that just helped me to deliver on that one. I was feeling sleeping during the day. I was like, what type of life is this? Why can't I even take time off? It's like you can, but at the same time you can't. And these are some of the adulthood issues I'm talking about. It's just like, sometimes I'll just be in meetings and I'll be thinking about how I don't have orange juice. I'm telling you, I'm like, wait, I think I need to go buy plantain or orange juice. And then I start just hallucinating. What if I get there and it's not there now? Oh my God, I'm going to be so angry. What's going to be my plan B? The most unnecessary things. And I'll just be feeling tired. So by Thursday, I was feeling a bit better. I was even in denial. I was like, it's not COVID. I'm just sick. But even the period did not come. Then eventually, I confirmed that it was COVID. And then I sure felt better by Friday. I wasn't feeling as weak as I was feeling. And then by Friday night, I was like, I want to finally record the episode for the niceties and not so niceties of working in tech. But then I couldn't also bring myself to do it, because podcasting too is a mood. And I find myself coming back to it every time where, I feel like, I should be doing something more useful with my life, or when I'm in a happier mood, or even when I'm in a sad mood and I want to just go to what you like to do. And I wasn't feeling it. But either way, and now I'm finally doing it. Today I'm happy. I'm feeling much more happier than I was feeling past 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, I think I should do it. And I sat down and eventually the topic changed. But anyway, we're here now. And I just decided that I'll talk about this and how the last 2 weeks, I really don't know how things have been going. But anyway, I woke up on Saturday morning. I was like, God, I thank you for making me feel much better. I think I'm in a good mood. And I just saw that my period had come. I was like, wow, the joys of being a woman. And it's like, who do I complain to? I'm so angry right now. But anyway, I was like, well, that's too bad. I woke up, I was like, this weekend, I feel like eating pancake. I moved all my brunch dates I was supposed to have. And I hate when, and I'm trying to tell myself to take life less seriously. You know, it's like, I'm like, it's just a brunch date. Why do I feel like, because I cancel on them, I'm a failure in life? It's like, I feel like my life is falling apart. But I'm like, wait, it's just a brunch date. I don't need to go on that brunch to be more successful in life. Why do I feel so much pressure, you know? And then on Sunday, I woke up, I was like, I'm going to make myself pancakes today. And I made it from scratch. I don't do pancakes with baking powder. So I was so happy. My pancakes, my bacon, my blueberries. And even on Saturday, I did spring cleaning. You know, that kind of cleaning where you clean under your bed, you know, mop, sweep. I was so happy. So I was able to utilize my weekend quite well. And I started watching the series White Lotus. So I would say that I've come on up to a much better place. Even today, Monday, I was able to wake up early and get started on some of the work I had to do. I promise you, there's still work I have to do right now, and I'm thinking about it as I'm here. But I choose to be present in the moment. So yeah, and I'm saying all of this to say, I hope that your weekends too are also as useful, and that's why I decided to pick up more hobbies. I find that I enjoy painting, like with friends, even though I never do it right. Trust me, I'm not doing it to be artistic or to prove anything, but I just enjoy the calm. Although sometimes it takes a lot of time, but I like the fact that while I sit and do it, I can also practice being in the moment. I can practice listening. I can practice sitting still for at least 2 hours, which is something I find it hard to do sometimes. And I decided to maybe bring it home. So now I've ordered like painting sets, easels, painting brushes. I should stop saying girls and guys. I'm on my way to self-discovery, like my friends would say. And on Sundays, every last Sunday of the month, I have a call with some of my girl posse. And we talk about how our week has been. I also told them all of these things I'm sharing with you now. I also started classes for something I've wanted to do for a long time. I wanted to explore. So, if on the outside I didn't tell you I was sitting in my feelings, you would think I have my life all together, like I'm happy, I'm blessed, can't be stressed. But apparently there are other things that are weighing me down emotionally and mentally. And this doesn't even have anything to do with the breakup I talked about in the last episode. I promise you. I mean, at least not on most days. But another bad news I got today, one of my classmates from Cornell University, who were in a set below me, I found out that she had a brain seizure or an aneurysm. Like, her boyfriend, who's also a good friend of mine and an avid listener to this podcast, shout out to both of you. And he was, I don't want to have to go into the details, but when he said it to me this morning, I was like, wait, you mean? And I was trying to read about it, and I was like, it could happen to anybody. You don't see the symptoms. You could just start having seizures and they rush you to the hospital. You could be unconscious. You could be on life support. As we're talking now, I just noticed that I was feeling weak, like, blood was leaving my body or something. And I was like, I'm not even the person who is right beside her or seeing her. And he was in such deep tears, and you can't even be able to hug the person, This morning was quite heavy. And then when you now go on Instagram, you're also trying to see how they're rigging results, allegedly rigging results. Please, let me not put myself inside trouble. It just feels very heavy and dark. But I have to remember that I'm not going to go into that place, because that's how I've noticed that sometimes when I sit in my feelings for too long, I'll begin to see all the bad in my life, or I'll begin to see all the bad in the world. Those are days I'll start thinking, why did I ever come to America? I want to go back home. And I was like, no. All of these are blessings that God has given me. Let me, let the devil not attack my gratitude. But it's not easy, especially when you have to navigate all of that. And I imagine that most of you too might even have worse issues. Look at me, I'm telling you that my issue is that orange juice, or they won't be plantain. And just to trivialize that a bit, I have this, you can say I'm spoiled, yes, in my family. We don't know how to eat white rice without plantain. I mean, I can, to be honest, I still do it, but it's very rare, like, for me to eat white rice without plantain. So when I already imagine that if I go to this store and there's no plantain, to me it's like, that means I can't have dinner, I have to change my dinner. It's serious for me, please, and just accept it like that. Probably spoiled, probably not, but yes, so those are my own issues on some days, and some other days is bigger. But anyway, that's on that front. But I'm praying for God to really be there for her family, my friend who's also her boyfriend, and all her friends. We're really trusting God for her health and for her to come off life support. And please, if you're listening to this, please say a prayer for her too, in faith that God will, bring her out of it. I mean, I hear about aneurysms in movies and all that, until it happens to someone close to you. That's why every time I'll just be outside, I'm like, God, in this New York, that's sometimes people can be shooting, someone can hold a knife. I'm always thinking about a million ways I can die where I am, but I have to keep telling God, I have to keep reminding God of myself, of God's promises to me, and casting down every evil thought and holding them captive by the mighty name of God. So I'm sorry for that segue, God. If this episode is becoming too much for you, please feel free to switch off. But if you want us to vent, to sit in our feelings together, I'm here for you. Let's sit in our feelings together. Today is that day. And I'm very much aware that, like I was just saying, it's not every time I like to sit in my feelings, but the days when I allow myself do, and I allow myself feel what I'm feeling. Sadness, anger, fear, and I try to think about, okay, why am I feeling like this? What can I do to address this? Okay, now that I'm feeling so very unproductive at work, where is it coming from? Is someone annoying me? Even yesterday, and I've not felt like this in a long time, because I actually like what I do on my team, my role on my team. When I thought about Monday, I was like, ew. I was like, oh my God, it's Monday. And I hardly ever feel like that. And that's when I knew that, okay, my work is becoming work. I always try not to make it to that point where my work is becoming work. And I think it's because I've had to work with other people. I remember when I was in grad school, I used to think that, Americans, they just like to, they say in class is just, they just regurgitate what someone else has said, repeat it. Most of them aren't as smart as they sound or as they look, but that's my stereotype, that's my bias. And I don't know if anything yet has, change that, but one thing I will tell you for sure, that those people know how to work their asses off. I will give it to them. They are hard workers. That thing where they say they live to work, it is not a lie at all. So sometimes I'll be in meetings and they're just telling me how I have to go about this, what I have to do. Instead of me to be listening, I'm just like, wait, why do you even know this? Why do you have to go the hard way? I mean, their ways, usually they actually know how to work smart, but sometimes it's just a lot. And I'm like, there's so much to live up to, and that's another thing. That's another nicety I was going to talk about in tech, actually. I feel like the work environment does push you, does expose you to a lot of things. But sometimes it also comes at a cost, and that's why probably everyone is always shouting my mental health, my this. Even sometimes when I have talks with people who are my managers or leaders, I'm like, wait, what just happened now? Are they being racist to me? Is someone being microaggressive to me, or how did they say it? There's just a lot going on. Now when people say context switching, I think I finally understand it. Even now, see how my accent is normal. Sometimes I'm at work, I'm thinking of how I have to slur my R so they can hear me. Guys, sometimes I'm just tired, basically, and I'm like, when I want to take a day off, you even feel more worse. It's like, but there's work to be done. So that's why I've made up my mind. And this is my call to you to use your weekends wisely. Those 2 days now, I own them with my life. I'm trying to wake up earlier, even on Saturdays and Sundays, so that I can just do stuff for me. Because I found myself last year, I would wake up and I'm trying to finish work from Friday. I'm trying to clean my inbox. I'm trying to finish writing that doc. All for what? Imagine if they laid me off in general, will I want to be talking all this one? Anyway, I've made up my mind now to plan my weekends. I'm like, okay, today I'm going for class. I've booked classes for the next 2 months. After those classes expire, I'll think of what to do again. Like I mentioned, I've ordered my painting materials. Like some other weekends, I try to spend it writing. Some other weekends, I write down people who I need to call, whose calls I need to return. I'm using my weekends all for myself. Even thankfully, I think last week I was able to cook because I'm lucky enough to be able to eat at work. So most times I don't cook, but I find that I enjoy cooking. And I think this was the week of vows. I was able to make myself some beautiful jollof fries. So, I'm intentionally doing those things. So on days like this when I feel sad, I don't even feel more sad when I feel like I don't have my life outside of work together. So, I'm just putting it out there just in case you're also struggling to find yourself outside of school or work or whatever it is else that you do. To prioritize yourself. Yes. And then about therapy. I was going to talk about that too. I plan to have an episode on embracing therapy as a form of healing because that's something I'm also exploring. This is me out here becoming all American and share. I noticed that a lot of my friends too who have come from Nigeria, like everyone becomes Americanized in one way or the other. It might be you now eating vegetables, you're now going more to the gym. I remember I have a friend in California who would say, oh, I'm going to play tennis. I'm like, okay, must be nice. I'm going to play golf. I'm like, okay. So I think that is one of mine. And I decided to embark on this therapy. I'll talk about it more in another episode. Well, also because sometimes I don't feel like I have any issues or anything, or I have too much to unpack. There is stuff to unpack. I feel like the average Nigerian child has enough to unpack, I was like, okay, maybe I should learn to sit more in my feelings especially because I know myself. I know that avoidance is my form of dealing with conflicts or anything at all I don't even want to deal with. So I'm like, therapy will make me really sit in it. And that's why it's a big deal for me that I'm doing this episode where I'm just sitting in my feelings. And I'm really happy and proud of myself to be doing this. So if your health insurance allows you to, I'm here as a messenger to tell you I think you should embrace it. And it's not like you don't know you should do therapy. I knew too, but someone told me again. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll give it a try. And this is me telling you, in case you needed an extra voice of reason to give it a try. I think it's good. Although now my therapist has given me assignment. I'm like, who sent me? He has asked me to listen to something. I'm like, this is not the issue, but maybe it is the issue. So I have no choice than to do it. I don't know if there's any other thing I want to rant about. Okay, yeah. Guys, I think I mentioned it that I was going to join Hinge profile, and I think I said at the end of the last episode that I won't do it. It's like even myself, I'm not ready for myself. I did it. I joined it. I even sent my profile to a couple of people who could vet it. So they were like, okay, put this picture on top, at the bottom, in front, everywhere. They helped me arrange my profile. Your girl's been getting likes. Even though it's from people that she doesn't like or rate. But anyway, that is there. But I don't have notifications for it anyway. So when I remember, or when my other friends are on Hinge, when I talk to them and they're like, how far your Hinge? I'm like, oh, okay, let me go and check. Let's go and check. We share our screen. We laugh. We banter about who is there. But there's someone I'm actually talking to. He's a medical doctor. This is TMI. But anyway, both of us aren't as responsive enough. But I think it's going well. I think just for the fun of it. Guys, please, all of this is not too serious. Even there, I didn't put long. In short, this brings me to another rant. That's why even these days, when my mother calls me, I should be asking me, so any bobo. If you know how much I hate that word, I'm like, God, please, ew. Which one is there any bobo? Please, can't you ask me how is your work going? This is performance season. Ask me, have they giving you bonus? How is your career? Please. And I've called my mom out on that because she's someone who has worked for over 30 years. I'm like, you could be telling me so much more. She does tell me stuff about, being such a formidable person in your career and on your team. But sometimes I'm just like, I've had it with the boy talk. And sometimes when you think about other things, I'm like, I don't even have the time to think about dating or relationships. What's that? There's so much more. I need to get my plantain. But anyway, I think that's just it. And now, like, I have a wedding I have to go for. I still don't have a dress. There's just so much I have to figure out by myself, and I do not like it. But I guess that's just it. And I don't even think marriage will change that, So I'm just like, God, this adulthood is too much. It's really too much. I didn't bargain for this. But anyway, all of us, we have no choice than to kind of figure it out. But yeah, I think that's me today. At least I feel it to be lighter and happier. After this episode, I'll probably sadly, go and try to get some work done. I try to, if I take hours from my work time, I try to give it back. And I'm also kind of more productive at night. So I try. But in all of this, I feel happy to be able to do it because I used my weekend for myself. Like I said, if I have to do something for myself, I do it. If my brain is on fire, sometimes I just close it and I just listen to music. Or I just dance, or I go and watch TV. This year, it sounds so Gen Z, but honestly, I'm really trying to prioritize myself. Because once I start feeling like this, sitting in my feelings, if I just remember my mistake that I'm not even doing anything for my life, and now mistakenly go on Instagram, and I go and see people that have side businesses, side hustles, traveling, I'll just be like, God, thinking about my life. But when I remember that there are other things I'm doing for myself that make me happy, I feel more secure in myself. I feel more at peace with myself, more centered. Oh my God, can you see what therapy is doing to me? I'm using all these universe and manifest words. But anyway, I'm still grateful to God for how things are in my life. Come rain, come shine, come snow. By the way, it started snowing in New York today. And please, that's something that I need to talk to New York about because we didn't sign up for it. We're already happy with the weather. But yeah, aside that, those are just some of the pressing issues on my mind. But aside that, I hope that this week will get better along the way. And hopefully I'll finally get to recording episode 3. And I hope even for you, if you're also in this space where you're sitting in your feelings, I hope that you're able to find respite in whatever it is that you do that makes you happy. And I hope that your mood I hope you're able to come out of this mood, allow yourself, yes, I agree with being kind to yourself. I don't try to beat up myself too much, but sometimes when I notice that I'm really slacking, I really talk to myself, okay, it's enough. You've had enough. Drop that ice cream. Drop it. Stop. Turn off that TV now, girl. Get yourself to work. I know when to talk to myself and I know when to sit in my feelings. Today is sit in my feelings day. and like I said, I hope if that's it for you too, that you come out of it very soon. And even if it's not time for you to come out of it, that while you're in it, you're able to find rest, honestly. In that moment and find peace, and I pray God also reaches you there and helps you out of whatever it is that you're going through. In Jesus' name, amen. So my love to you and yours, to you and your families. I was going to talk about Oscars, Grammys. So much has happened, I think, in the past 2 weeks. And Rihanna's halftime Super Bowl, I did enjoy that, actually. I just missed listening to all those high school songs that we used to write on paper. And as most of you know, I also write. I remember when I was in high school, I used to repurpose songs. So remember when she sang, "Oh, na, na," from What's My Name? I'll add that to Rude Boy. There's some lyrics, I'll use it, mash it to write poems. I'll be feeling cool, I'll now submit it. I was in Literary and Press Debating Society. They will now publish my poems in school magazine, all those things. So I enjoyed watching it and just remembering my secondary school days. And I think in the next episode, I'll really talk about Oscars. 95th Oscar is also coming up. So I actually follow a lot of these things because I'm in Hollywood. I don't know, that's my guilty pleasure. Stalking people in Hollywood and stuff in Hollywood. So I was going to talk about how Lizzo makes me happy, how I think her, Meghan Trainor, they're some of my best musicians. But I think I'll talk about that in the next episode. But yeah, a lot has happened. But in all of it, the takeaway from this episode is just to be more mindful, to be more kind to yourself, to allow yourself sit in your feelings when you can, to allow yourself indulge when you can, but most importantly, to prioritize yourself and your life outside of school and outside of work. Selah. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like, I think, subscribe and rate. I actually found out that not a lot of you have left comments on the podcasts where you listen through or to. Please leave me a comment or a rating, even if it's anonymous. I think that would help the podcast. I believe it will. So thank you in advance. And yeah, have a lovely week ahead. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye, guys.